got us?
Yeah.
Are you close enough?
Yeah.
Um, what would a typical school day involve for you?
Well, I would have to report to a homeroom where they take attendance, and then we would move around to different classes. And you had to be somewhere. You weren't allowed to just roam the halls. If you didn't have a class, then you were supposed to be in an assigned study hall, or you had a pass to go to the library. But you couldn't just run around the halls in between classes.
What year were you in high school?
I graduated in 1946, so 42, 43, 44, 43, 44, 45, 46.
Okay, what was it like in New York City during the 50s?
Well, it was an exciting time in New York. There wasn't as much crime as there is now. And there wasn't racial tension that I think there is now. And there were some beautiful stores, and people dressed very well. They wore gloves, women wore gloves and hats, and it was good. It was an exciting time.
That's cool. What did you do as a teenager for fun?
You're gonna laugh. We used to go to the malt shop. No, we used to go to a soda fountain after school, and we'd have, Cokes and sodas, and we had a lot of dances when I was in high school. Different organizations gave dances, and we had hay rides sometimes, and we ice skated in the winter, and the high school I went to was in a town on the ocean, so we went to the beach a lot. I guess that's it.
What was the biggest issue facing society at the time you were a teenager?
Well, when I was a teenager, the Second World War was on, and that took up everybody's time and effort and concern. But then after that, as a young adult, which we were talking about too, the McCarthy era came in, and that was Senator McCarthy, who thought that the country was really threatened by communists, and he held a lot of hearings in Washington and got a lot of movie people blackballed from working, and that everybody was listening to those hearings, so that was a big thing in the 50s.
Wow. What is your opinion of J.D. Salinger?
Well, I don't know. I think that I have one. I think Catcher in the Rye is the only thing of his I ever read, and that was a long time ago. I remember I enjoyed that as a book. I guess he was good at depicting the times and the people.
Do you agree with J.D. Salinger that phonies were in New York in the 1950s?
Phonies have always been in New York, and probably still are. It's, now early on, there was a definite society in New York that you really had to kind of be born into to compete, and then that changed a lot, and the old money people kind of faded out as the new money people, like Trump and people like that, came into social power, really. But phonies? Oh, sure.
Very cool. Thank you for
Okay,
answering
you're
my
welcome.
questions.
You're welcome,
Yay.
you're welcome.